It's me, Jensine, one of the sleep experts of the group. And my live today is all about how to talk to family members about respecting your little one's sleep needs. So this can be a really tricky subject, especially around the holidays. If you're having more people come into your home or you are traveling to see other family members, it can be really hard. If you have your child on a really great sleep schedule, you know what works for them, what doesn't work for them, and then you go to a family member's house who may have very different views about your child's sleep and all of those things. So we'll kind of talk out just some of my basic recommendations so you can still have a great time, but not feel uncomfortable about kind of advocating for your child and what you have worked so hard to create around their sleep. So the biggest thing when you're traveling or someone is coming to visit your own home is to give yourself some grace. I know it can be really difficult with family members depending on your relationship with them. So just know, if things do derail a little bit and they have a later bedtime or grandma just holds them and rocks them to sleep for 2 hours, if you have done any sleep training or any kind of strategies around sleep, it's not going to ruin everything. So also don't feel like you have to, stick to everything perfectly, because that's just going to be hard on you. So I want you to just give yourself some grace and know that it may not be perfect, but you can always hop back on board once the visit is over. The next thing is really just kind of, if you're very passionate about, your child best, definitely remember that. So if you know, okay, if they're on 2 naps, they cannot go past 10:30 without that nap, or else the rest of the day is going to be terrible. You can say that in a kind way and say, Jimmy, he really needs a nap at this time. I want us to have a fun, enjoyable time together. So if he doesn't nap, that's not going to be able to happen. So you can be, you can present it that way, where it's not forceful and saying no, he needs to nap, but you can say, this is what will happen if he doesn't get that great nap in. Just kind of thinking about the way that you're wording some things will make it a little bit easier to explain to them. You don't have to say, I've worked so hard to get him on this 2-nap schedule and you're ruining everything. You can just say it as, I want us to have enjoyable time together. And if he doesn't nap, it's not going to be an enjoyable time for everybody. So really, kind of thinking it through. What are their values around sleep? Are they, do they not really follow a schedule, and they don't want your child to follow a schedule because they want to keep them up all day and play? You can just kind of explain what could happen if they are not able to take that nap that they desperately need. Same thing for bedtimes. You can, even before they come, if you're comfortable, kind of lay it out and say, this is kind of what we do when we're at home, or this is what we do when we're away. We're going to need to respect that so that everyone, again, can have an enjoyable trip. Something else to think about is what happens if your little one naps at a time that kind of an event is happening? So say for Thanksgiving, people eat early. Maybe your Thanksgiving dinner is happening at 1 p.m. and that's typically nap time. So it's going to depend on your child and kind of their adaptability. If your little one is still taking multiple naps, 2 or more, it's going to be really hard for them to adjust. So I would still keep, it also depends on you and what you would like out of that situation. Do you want your little one to be awake and enjoy that meal with the entire family? Or do you not mind that your child is sleeping and they can keep their nap schedule while everybody else is eating? They're getting their rest. So really kind of thinking ahead about what would I like this situation to look like? So if okay, this event is happening when they would typically be sleeping, there are some adjustments that you can make. You could wake them up a little bit earlier from the morning. You could wake them up a little bit earlier from their first nap and try to push that. Or so they'll be awake for that time, Or if you know it's going to impact that second nap, maybe that second nap is going to have to move later, then you can extend that first nap or let them sleep a little bit later in the morning so they're making up for some of that sleep that they'll lose by being awake for Thanksgiving dinner. So just kind of, again, thinking about the day, where can we make these adjustments? They're going to be one-day adjustments, so if it doesn't go perfectly, that is fine. You can just hop back on track at bedtime, hop back on track the next day, and know that, any long-term work that you've put in is not going to be ruined by that one afternoon that they stayed up a little bit later. If your child is older and they're taking one nap, then you can definitely, this hair is weird, then you can just talk to them about, today is going to be a really fun day. We're going to go to Aunt Susie's house, and we're not going to take a nap there. But when we get home, it's going to be a little bit late, so we're going to just get right into bed. So have them know what the expectation is. Yay, it's a super fun, special day. We're not going to get a nap in, but that means you're probably going to put them in for bedtime a little bit earlier. So just thinking about what the situation is going to be, if they're going to be in your home or you're going to be in their home, what time kind of the main event is happening, if it's a dinner, if it's anything, if you're like opening gifts, if there's whatever it is that you celebrate and that you do, think about, what do I want them to be part of that main event? And if you do, how can we either move their sleep or even ask to move that event to earlier or later to accommodate them? And if you don't mind that they are not present for that, then yes, keep their normal nap time, but bring the things that they would need. So I'm a huge fan of the Slumber Pod that you can pack up super easily, bring to wherever you need to. It doesn't take up a lot of space. It's just a little bit bigger than a play yard would be. So you could just set that up in a quiet, empty room, and they could still get their nap in. So definitely just plan ahead. Know, okay, this is typically something that, I'm very passionate about. I'm kind of a stickler for naps or bedtimes or whatever. So just know that. Be prepared to talk with family about that, because sometimes they just don't understand. They don't have that expectation, or they don't get to see that child a lot, so they really want to spend all this time with them. But you still want them to know, like, this is how they operate. This is how they can be their best selves, so you can have really great quality playtime with them. So don't be shy to have a little plan in your head, or to really express yourself and say, you know what, that's a little bit too stimulating. He's about to take a nap. Can we save this fun game for a little bit later when he wakes up, or something like that? So just feel free to advocate for yourself. Don't try not to feel too much pressure to give in to what somebody may say that you may think they need you to do, or that you should be doing. This is your child, your family. You really get to have the final say. So hopefully that was a little helpful, encouraging pep talk for you to be able to go places or have people in your own home, but still keep your great sleep schedule. If you have any questions, please let me know in the comments, and I will see you all in 2 weeks.